Hello everyone, Nubkex here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, and we've got two champions, two legendaries that are kind of meme status with a bit of use but not super useful from the Orc faction that are getting buffed in an upcoming patch, probably next week sometime. The first one, let's look at him, is Nogdar the Headhunter. Nogdar, he's a super fun champion, right? But not really useful for anything. His one kind of moment of fame was when Sand Devil's Necropolis released. His A3 is supposed to not work against bosses, but it did. So he could effectively solo the dungeon, just wipe it out in 8 seconds, which was great. Obviously, bring it back, Plarium. It's not coming back. It's not coming back. What is changing with Nogdar, though? This is the stuff that is changing. The stuff that is in bold is what's changing, which is interesting. So Gore Feast is his AoE. Let's take a quick look at this. Gore Feast, AoE attack. After attacking, he sacrifices HP. This is now going to put continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. This one is quite interesting. Instead of just putting continuous heal buffs on himself, he's going to put it on his whole team. We'll talk about like sort of the whole kit and what it means in a second. I think, initially what stands out to me, obviously the Orc boss you fight can steal your buffs, right? So that could be, you could fill up his entire buff bar with continuous heal, which could be really, really bad. Definitely for faction wars, it makes him very strong with Seer, who's in the same faction. Suddenly he becomes like the ultimate Seer enabler with this move, which is cool. His A3 is getting changed as well. It's now going to give an extra turn. This is really interesting. So as it is right now, he sacrifices half of his max HP, then equalizes HP of the target enemy. Usually, like if he goes in with full HP, he uses this move, he drops to half, and then he brings a target enemy to half HP as well. Yeah, it's kind of funky. Now, what is interesting about this is you can run him in Frenzy set as it is right now, because he sacrifices HP here, he sacrifices HP here, and the Frenzy set can enable him, therefore, to start getting loads of turn meter and taking a whole bunch of extra turns. Maybe not as important anymore, because he's just going to straight up get an extra turn off of Last Rites, which is, I think that's pretty funky. That's pretty interesting. So there we go. And then the next big thing, Headsman's Return. 1 turn cooldown on this. Okay. Revives him with half HP and turn meter when killed if all other allies are alive. This is being changed to reviving him with 50% HP and a full turn meter when killed if all other allies are alive. Now this, to me, this is interesting. This becomes very interesting because number one, coming back with a full turn meter with a 1 turn cooldown, well, like he should go in and just take a turn straight away, which should reset the 1 turn cooldown. So what I'm thinking with this new Nogdar, what I'm thinking is actually could be a live arena monster. He could totally be a live arena monster. He's the good affinity against Duchess, against Pythion. He's fine against Siphi as well. The only tanky reviver he could struggle with, I suppose, is Elva. And apart from me, I love Elva in live arena, as you guys know. Not that many people using her at the moment, I would say. She's not as common, nowhere near as common as Duchess, right? But man, you think about these changes. You put him in with like tanky revivers or something like that, and every time he dies, like if your team is tanky and difficult to kill, he's going to keep popping back with full turn meter and just going again. A damage dealer who can just attack whenever he wants, and then also is going to be providing like 2 continuous heals for your whole team. You put him in with like a Pythion and an Elva, or Pythion and Duchess and some other sort of tank like Ultimate Death Knight or something like that. That could get pretty nutty pretty quick, to be honest. And this sacrificing HP to equalize with the extra turn, he can basically bring someone down. I mean, look, with his revive, he's going to come back half HP. He's going to drop to 1% HP. He can't kill himself with this. And then he's going to bring an enemy down to 1. I actually think Nogdar is now genuinely really good. I have him booked as well. So yeah, I think now you would also probably be building him in Savage, right? I think so. You probably just build him in Savage and just let his passive do the work with the full turn meter. You just build him to hit as hard as possible. And you don't even care. Maybe actually, you know what? Maybe the Fury set. I have no Fury set pieces, but Fury makes you hit harder the lower your health is. I've got like 1 piece of Fury gear on my entire account. But maybe you build them in Fury and you just use that. I certainly think that they could do another set in the future, kind of like Fury, where damage goes up as HP decreases. They might do another set like this in the future because there's no upgraded version of this set. And this could be Biss on him right now. So yeah, Nogdar is, for me, I think he's a big one to watch. I think that these changes are kind of crazy. We'll see if it is as crazy as I think when it comes into practice. But, yo, I'm pretty happy about this. Nogdar's gone from a total meme to actually potentially being a total Chad. Yeah, his damage isn't insane, but it's okay, right? He's got okay damage. I mean, the issue is he's not going to have increased attack. But that might not matter for you. So, yeah, it's a big change. Next up then is Gomlock Skyhide. So, let me get the changes to Gomlock. So, Gomlock is one of the Doom Tower champions, Doom Tower legendaries. Let's check this out. So, Gomlock, smaller changes, but I think pretty good ones as well. Gomlock is not entirely useless, but sort of the problem with him is that because he's a Doom Tower legendary, it takes a really, really long time to get him. And by the time you do, you've already got Lydia. And it's kind of like, the issue sort of been, what's the point of this champion, right? Because he's Force Affinity, he has weak affinity issues. He has a 4-turn cooldown, double hitter, that puts out decreased defense, decreases turn meter by 10%, and then if he has full HP, it will put out a weaken as well. So that's been sort of an issue, is that it's a little inconsistent. The cooldown's a bit long, a bit weird. His A2 is pretty good. 2-turn cooldown, steals 2 buffs, and can decrease turn meter or steal turn meter if he's full HP, and so on. What is being changed? Well, what is being changed is the A2 and its passive. So the A2, actually quite a nice change. This used to be steal 2 buffs. It does buck to 100%. Steal 2 random buffs. Now, it is going to steal all buffs from the target on a 2-turn cooldown. Okay. And it used to be 100% chance when booked of decreasing the turn meter by 50%, stealing it 50% of their max turn meter if he had full HP. Now it's going to be just, when booked up, 100% chance to steal 50% max turn meter. So that's actually really good. That's really good because it means that if they're at 50% turn meter, right, you're going to steal all of it. If they're at 75, you're going to steal 50% of the 75. Or, well, you're gonna leave them with 25% remaining. Yeah, I think this actually becomes pretty strong now. So it's always going to steal all of their buffs, and it's always going to steal half of their maximum turn meter on a 2-turn cooldown. That becomes quite a bit better, actually. That move actually becomes a really, really, really strong move. Yeah, it's a great move. His passive then is being buffed as well. Whenever 4 or more buffs are placed on the enemy team in a single turn, it's going to give him a shield equal to 30% of his max HP for 2 turns. That's up from 15%, which is like, that was kind of really, really weak, right? Really poor. So Gomlock, in my mind, now becomes a pretty intriguing champion. Yeah, he becomes a pretty intriguing champion. How would I build him? You could build him as a pure support, maybe fast in like a bolster set, right? The bolster set, by stealing this turn meter, he's going to be going pretty quick. The bolster set will heal him up. We'll start letting him putting out extra leeches, which is kind of we'll let him put out the weakens, which is okay. So that might be a good option. He's got good base HP as well. So sort of a good sort of support, control-y type of champ with this, maybe. You could maybe just build him to do some okay damage as well. I think this A2 does pretty decent damage. Right? It's okay damage, and it's got good effects right now. So he could be an okay damage dealer. He's not going to do crazy damage, but hey, look, stealing all the buffs from the target is kind of interesting. I'm less convinced that he's going to be good. Again, I think there's affinity issues right here. He still seems a bit situational, right? But I don't know. Let me know what you think about Gomlock. It's definitely a buff to him, which is nice. He was a champion that just nobody used. But yeah, I'm still not entirely convinced of exactly what his use is going to be. I do think this A2 is now an extremely, extremely good move, though. It's really good. So there is some potential right there. But there you go, guys. 2 buffs. Gomlock with a very powerful A2. Not 100% sure if he's going to be used. And then Nogdar, really wacky champion, might become, with a crazy passive now, might become a monster, but perhaps for some live arena stuff. We shall have to see. But guys, thank you for watching. I hope that you found that interesting. I certainly did. The Orc faction definitely has some of the one of the weaker selections of legendaries overall, I would say. You know, the Voids are, apart from Angar, the Voids are all really good, but the rest are a little bit underwhelming. You've got decent ones, you know, like Tila, Krila, Iron Braga are decent. The rest have been a bit underwhelming. Nice to see them get some buffs, eh? So there we go. Especially this could be very relevant if they ever bring in like faction-specific tournaments to Live Arena, which could be, I think, really fun and something I think they might do. So we'll see. Thank you for watching. Catch you all next time. Goodbye.